Humm, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today we got baseball. Baseball's here. The season is coming up. Spring training games have begun. Giants lost yesterday to the Angels, but that's okay because it don't matter towards the World Series. Which teams are going to be in the Fall Classic in 2021? I'm taking a look at the odds. I'm taking a look at the bets and to see how much money there is to be made if you're into that kind of thing. And obviously, I am not a professional gambler and I'm not giving professional advice, so please do not take this advice as official and please do not hold me responsible for any money you might lose. So please, this is just for fun. I'm just taking a look at some of the teams, some of the odds, and I'm going to give my thoughts, what I think if I was in Vegas, which I'm not, but if I was, what I would be thinking. And obviously what I usually do is I take a paper, a few papers, and I really figure out where all this money can go to get the most bang for my buck, and that's what I would be doing. Now normally at the top, and we'll start there, are teams that I kind of stay away from because the odds just don't pay back enough, like the Dodgers. Now clearly the Dodgers should be at the top. They are the favorites, they are the champs, but at 4-1, so you put down 100, you get back 400, you make $300. That's not that great when you're betting on a team to go all the way to the World Series, considering the Dodgers, as good as they are, have just won the one in recent years, and they've been good for so long, and also considering that back-to-back World Series is not too common in baseball. So I wouldn't mess with them. Yankees, I wouldn't mess with them when it's been since 2009. Yankees are a great team, but they're always injured, and at 6-1, I wouldn't mess with that. Padres are a team that I was going to definitely look for, and I was hoping they'd be down like 20-1 or 15-1, but no, they're too smart for that. Vegas realizes the Padres had an amazing offseason, and they got bumped all the way up to 9-1. So I don't think I would touch that, as good as the Padres look, but it is a lot better than 4-1. Don't get me wrong on that. Definitely nice. 9-1, you put 100 to make 900. But then the Braves, White Sox. This is very interesting because the Braves and the White Sox, both awesome looking teams. Braves are, they a team that almost took out the Dodgers last year. They brought back Osuna. They're looking really good at 10-1 though. Both those teams, that's decent, but I'm really looking towards down here, which I'm going to get to when you get into the 20s. Now, that is really where it's at for me. Mets, a team that, what's going on here? I mean, I picked them to win the division. They were terrible. They obviously are coming crazy with the new ownership with Cohen. Mets are going for it, but at the same time, until I really see it happen, not only them make the playoffs, but be able to push it all the way to a world championship, until I see that, I'm kind of staying away from the Mets at 12-1. That is not enough payback to go with the Mets. And all due respect, this is just business, okay? It's just business.
It's not personal, son. It's strictly business.
And that's why I also stay away from the Rays and A's. I love the Rays and A's. I love the small market teams, small dollar teams that can always be competitive and build great teams. But 14-1, 16-1, I mean, yeah, there's some money to be made there. That is not terrible, but still, I wouldn't put much there. I'm looking down here once we get to, and by the way, the Twins too at 16-1. That would not be a bad bet, but obviously the Twins struggle in the playoffs. That could change, but as of now, I'm looking here where we have the Astros and Cardinals and Blue Jays. This is, to me, the sweetest spot on this list because you're right here at these teams that are really good. Now, Astros, they were in the playoffs last year. They still got a lot of talent. They lost Springer. I'm not saying that I would put anything on the Astros, all due respect. I really would be thinking hard about the Cardinals at 22-1 because they picked up Arenado. They're a team that's constantly in the playoffs. They're a team that's always good, always competing. The Cardinals seems like a very strong bet at 22-1 to put 100 to get 2,200 back. That is, and that's just an example. You can put more. You put 200 to get 4,400, or one could, not you specifically, but one could. But yeah, the Blue Jays. Wow, 25-1. Now, this is a team that I thought was going to be closer to 15-1 with the Blue Jays off season. And coming, with that, they added rotation pieces. They still got Ryu. They added Springer. They added Simeon. I mean, this Blue Jays team at 25-1, this is the bet right here. I wouldn't hesitate to put at least 100 here for a chance at $2,500 for the Toronto Blue Jays. That is a very sweet spot because, yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays, I know they're not going to be playing in Toronto, but hey, they had a great offseason and they're going for it and they want to win. And I feel like that would be that's one of the biggest bets here I see is the Blue Jays. Unbelievable at 25-1 at plus 2,500. Easy bet on the Jays. Reds, I still like the Reds. I picked the Reds to win it all last season. Didn't work out. They got swept by the Braves in the playoffs and wouldn't have even been in the playoffs if it weren't for expanded playoffs. At plus 3,000, definitely something to consider. Reds, Brewers, Reds, Indians right here. This is nice. This is a nice little, semi-sweet spot. I definitely would take the slightly worse odds and go with the Jays or Cardinals. I think the chances of them going all the way to the World Series, Jays or Cardinals, are quite a bit higher. All due respect, I still like the Reds. Like I said, Brewers, Indians, it could happen. I'm not saying it won't. Cubs and Phillies, you're getting down 35-1 here, so even more money here to be made. But Cubs lost a lot. I don't see it, but it's possible. Indians still have some talent. Phillies, though, a team that's constantly right there at 500, a little bit worse than 500 last year. Brought back Real Muto. I really think the Phillies at 35-1. That's another team I'm looking at. I mean, that's, compared to 25-1, now it's 35-1. That's a big difference. That's an extra $1,000 for $100. So instead of $2,500 on the Jays, $3,500 for the Phillies for 100. Something to think about now. I'm not just throwing 100 to make it easy, the math. I wouldn't just put 100, 100, 100. No way. It would be like, much more calculated where maybe, I don't know, maybe I'd just put 50 on the Phillies and I put 100 on the Jays, something like that. Or maybe 30 on the Phillies. I don't really know. It's something that I would usually figure out. It would take a lot of time, but since I'm not going to Vegas this year, I'm not going to go through all that. But these are just some of my initial thoughts. Like Phillies are a team I would put something on. Jays and Cardinals, I would put something on. Jays, Cardinals, Phillies are the teams that have popped to me so far. After that, the Red Sox, you'd have to really think about it. I mean, they're a team that wins the World Series from time to time, and at 50-1 odds at plus 5,000, the Boston Red Sox, you would definitely think about it. But I haven't done the preview on the Red Sox yet. I know they have a lot of talent and good players, and it would be something I would think about. Definitely would think about that. After that, obviously a lot of teams that aren't so great lately and that are not expected to do anything, I would just look through this. Especially if you're a fan of one of these teams like I am with the Giants, there's no way I wouldn't throw something on the Giants at 80-1. That isn't obvious. I mean, to me, the Giants have talent. The Mariners have talent. All these teams have talent, but enough to possibly have a surprise year, slip into a wild card and make the playoffs. It's going to be tough for the Giants in that division with the Padres and Dodgers, obviously. Mariners, I think, have an easier road to the playoffs in their division, a little bit of a weaker division, at least as far as the top tier, all due respect to the A's and Astros, but Dodgers and Padres, I mean, come on, they're absolutely insane. So I would definitely think about throwing something Mariners and definitely the Giants just because I'm a fan. So let's forget Giants because I'm not, if I wasn't a fan, I don't know if I'd be saying that. Definitely Mariners would get something here. At 80-1, no doubt. I mean, think about that, $100 for a potentially $8,000. So something would definitely go on the Mariners. Something would go on the Giants because I'm a fan. Something might go on the Phillies. These are teams that are popping to me. Something would go on the Jays. Maybe a little something on the Reds because I really do like this Reds teams. I just don't know though. After last season, I think they'll be better in 2021. I have evidence that that from some advanced stats that they will have better fortune offensively in 21. So the Reds are somebody. The Jays, the Cardinals. Those are the three. This is the sweet spot of sweet right here. Cardinals, Jays, Reds, no doubt. After that, these teams up here, just not enough payback to me, but I'm not saying. I mean, if you're like super confident in the Braves or the Padres or the White Sox, I mean, that makes perfect sense. White Sox are a team that's getting a lot of heavy bets. I just personally would stick right here into this area. Cardinals, Jays, Reds. I like to go lower too. Especially because it's baseball. You just never know. Look at the Nats in 2019. Look at the Giants in 10, 12, 14. A lot of teams win World Series championships, and they are oftentimes not near the top of this list preseason. So give me your thoughts down below. Those are the teams that I would be focused on here. And like if you like another one of these teams, like, I don't know, the Marlins or Rockies or Tigers, I mean, yeah, I just personally, those are the teams I mentioned, Cardinals, Jays, Reds, and Mariners and Giants because I love the Giants, and I think the Giants are decent and have a good roster, so I think they could be a surprise team this year as well. Those are the teams I would definitely be focused on here. Some good odds. I really like these odds, especially for the Toronto Blue Jays. That would be my main pick. My pick. If you got say I'm gonna throw $100 on one team, which team should I do it on, Eric? I would tell you unofficial advice. Do not hold me responsible. I would tell you the Toronto Blue Jays. I think Ballcap Sports might agree. So you guys have a fantastic day. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button. And we will talk to you very soon. See ya.
When the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye, baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye-bye, baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.